Hi guys, hello, welcome to today's video. Today we're just basically gonna be doing a fall reset, which today honestly is either the best or worst day to be doing this. The high is gonna be in like the mid 80s, so it definitely doesn't feel like fall, but maybe doing these activities, going through our fall reset day, it'll kind of like help me feel more in the spirit. I don't know, crossing our fingers. I did already kind of like redo my room to kind of get in the fall spirit, but I feel like I need a little bit more. I want to like really set some goals. So we're going to do some mood boarding. I am going to be starting 75 hard. So I kind of want to prep for that a little bit. Going into the holiday season is definitely not like the time that typically people think of like getting fit. You know what I mean? Starting your fitness journey. But I've been having some like stomach issues over the past like couple of years now, which is crazy. In the past like year, especially, my weight has been fluctuating a lot. And right now I'm currently at the heaviest I have ever been, and I just feel really uncomfortable. But also, as you can see behind me, my bookshelves are naked and I do have like piles of books like all around me. I've got books everywhere in this room because I decided, very spur of the moment, to reorganize and like decorate my shelves for the seasons. But the first thing that I want to do before anything else, again, is to do a little mood board. I did make one for just the year in general. Here is what that looks like. And although all of these things still apply, I kind of want to refresh my brain. I definitely feel like I've totally fallen off of kind of my goals for the year. So I kind of want to add seasonal mood boards to the yearly one as well, just to kind of like refresh my brain, kind of assess where I'm at, that kind of thing. But then also be able to add some like actual seasonal things as well. So I'm going to start by going on Pinterest, as I feel like everyone does. The very first thing that I think of when I think of fall is apple picking, and I've never actually done apple picking before. I did it illegally, I think, with my dad when I was really little. He like stopped at the side of the road and we just picked some apples that were at an orchard. As a kid, that was like such a fun memory for me, but now as an adult looking back on it, I'm like, I'm pretty sure we were not supposed to be doing that. And aside from that, I've never actually done like official apple picking. We do go to an apple orchard every year. There's one specifically that has like the best apple cider donuts. Apple cider donuts are my favorite thing on the planet, and I do only get them during the fall season. I feel like it's one of those things that I probably could get any time of the year, but I like the fact that it's like a special treat for the fall. So every year we go to the same apple orchard. It has the best donuts, and we get apple cider donuts, we get apple cider just like to drink. And this one place in particular has goats that you can get these little like ice cream cones of like seeds and stuff to feed them. It is so cute and fun. So apple picking is definitely like the main thing that I want to do for fall, because we go to an apple orchard every year and I still have yet to pick some freaking apples off of a tree. I think I'm gonna do like a red theme for our board. The other main goal that I have is to pick up my piano lessons. One of my main goals going into this year was to learn an instrument, and we do actually have a piano, like a small one, in the living room. So I figured the piano would be the perfect instrument to learn. And for the first like month or two of the year, I did a really good job at sticking with it. And then I just kind of randomly fell out of the routine and have not touched the piano in months. So I really want to pick that back up as a routine, especially because it did make me so happy. I don't know why. I got it in my head that learning a language and learning an instrument, like I was just too old. So for me, I just kind of went into trying to learn an instrument thinking like there was no way that I was actually gonna really pick it up, but I ended up learning everything like way quicker than I thought. And by the end of that like month and a half that I was playing regularly, I was able to like read and play very basic sheet music. It was a really big like learning lesson to myself to like not immediately doubt myself. And then, like I said earlier, 75 hard is the other thing that I really want to focus on going into fall. Just kind of like doing a mind-body reset. I feel like we all have kind of like this perfect version of ourselves that we're kind of like striving for, we wish to be. So I really want by my next birthday not to be that person, because I don't really feel like that's realistic, but I want to be the closest I've ever been to that person, if that makes sense. Like I want to go into my next year feeling the best that I have ever felt. So all of my goals until then are going to kind of get me to that point. And I do feel like with 75 hard, I'm not going to do it exactly how it is. I'm definitely going to tweak it to fit myself and my lifestyle and like my actual goals. But I want to kind of use it as an opportunity to not just get in shape physically or kind of like work my way towards that, but also to kind of reset my mind and like help me develop healthier habits for my mindset as well, because I do feel like naturally I am a very like pessimistic person, and I don't want to be like that. Like I do think negatively, and I do think of all the worst possible things that could happen, and I do have a lot of anxieties and things like that. So I want to try to shift my mindset as well in this process. Maybe not all together all at once. I think maybe I'll do a couple of rounds of 75 hard. The first time around I'll do more of like the physical things, get those kind of healthier habits set, and then I'll do another round of 75 hard once that first one's over and focus more so on mental shifts. But the one thing that I do want to add in, regardless of what set of 75 hard I'm doing, if that makes any sense, is I want to start journaling. Journaling, I feel like, is that one thing that so many people recommend, even if it's just like a gratitude type of thing where I'm just like writing down a couple of things before I go to bed that I'm like grateful for that day. I think focusing on positive things is very beneficial. And then the last kind of thing that I have that's like bundled in with like the 75 hard process, I want to start cooking at home more. I definitely feel like a big issue with me personally is I am a very big emotional eater, and because I've gotten a lot more anxieties and things like that, and I've been struggling a lot more with my mental health the last couple of years because of all like the gut issues that I've been having, I'm randomly getting emotional. Hold on. I feel like my anxieties have definitely like skyrocketed, and because of that, anytime I'm feeling anxious or anytime I'm like having stomach issues, it's so weird because like my stomach will hurt and the last thing I need to do is probably eat, but because I usually soothe myself, like I get migraines a lot, I've had those like my entire life, and getting french fries and soda is what helps that. So now anytime I have like a physical ailment, my body is like, french fries, you need fries. So that in and of itself has like increased the amount of like just junk that I've been eating. It's not always fast food, but like we'll go to Walmart and grab like frozen pizzas and cookies, you know what I mean? Like I just like junk food is the way that I heal myself emotionally, physically, and that needs to stop because again, I've gained weight. I am at the heaviest I've ever been. So I really want to like try healing my emotional eating as well. So I really want to start focusing on cooking at home more and like making fun meals so that I'm actually excited for it, because cooking is honestly not something I'm really a fan of. I don't like taking the time to do it. So those are kind of my goals as far as my mood board. And here is kind of like our finished result. I'm actually going to do the mood board later tonight. I'm going to kind of like put a face mask on and just kind of like put it all together on my computer because I do want to use it as like a desktop, but I'm going to do that on my own time because the one that I made for just the year in general took me so long. Now I'm going to go ahead and do a little 75 hard prep. I've seen videos where people have put like post-it notes on their wall, like 75 post-it notes with the numbers on it to kind of like take off every day. It's kind of like an advent calendar kind of a vibe. And originally I was not going to do that because it felt like a waste of paper. But I do feel like I kind of need as much motivation as possible. Again, especially going into the holiday season. This is definitely not like the best time to be starting a health journey. That being said, because I am the way that I am and I can't just go buy a pack of post-it notes and stick them to my wall, I want them to be aesthetic looking, especially because I just took the time to like redo my room to like make it look cute and things like that. I don't want to then ruin it with like a wall of post-it notes, you know what I mean? So I grabbed a couple different types of paper. I have some black construction paper and then just plain white printer paper. And I'm basically going to use these to make cuter numbers to stick on my wall. Even though we're not using a post-it note, I do kind of want to make them the same size because I feel like it's a good size. And according to Google, they are typically 3 by 3. So I'm going to measure out 3 inches by 3 inches on this paper and then cut it with our little guillotine cutter. Actually, that seems kind of massive and I feel like I'm wasting a lot of space this way. Maybe we'll do 2 by 2 inches because then we can get a little bit more. Yeah, that makes more sense to me. And we have our first little bundle of squares. And this is 20 little squares, so I need to do this basically 2.5 more times. So I'm gonna do that and I'll be right back. And here is what 80 little 2 by 2 inch squares look like. Next step was to make little 1 by 1 inch squares to go inside the black squares. And I did this exactly the same as the black ones, but I used the markers on the actual cutter instead of using a ruler. I don't know why I didn't do that with the other paper too. This was a lot quicker. And after I got 1 bajillion of these little squares cut, it was time to write the numbers onto them. This took 1.5 million years to do, especially because halfway through I decided that I was not making the numbers big enough. So I had to recut and rewrite a bunch of them. And the last step before we actually hang them up was to glue the squares together. Look at how fat this stack of numbers is. And we also do have some washi tape to actually tape them onto the wall. I obviously want to like adhere them with something that's not going to rip off paint or be hard to take off. Now I just need to figure out how exactly I want to put these onto the wall. I feel like the best way probably is to do 10 across. So then we have like 7.5 down. Does that make sense? So we've got 1, 2, 3. Obviously when I go to do this like for real, I'm gonna take more time to like make sure those are straight. But I just, again, I'm just trying to get a general idea. I feel like 10 is gonna be too many across. So maybe we do 7 and then 10 down. I think that's what we're gonna have to do. It's like an hour later. I had to take a little bit of a break because the sun like disappeared. So originally I was actually thinking I would have to like pick this up another day, but the sun came back out. So we're gonna continue on where we left off. The only problem is I'm just now realizing how tedious this is gonna be, having to tape every single one of these things. I mean, this whole process has been pretty tedious. I'm gonna try to like pre-tape a few at a time to see if that helps speed it along instead of doing like one individually every 2 seconds. I really don't know if that's any quicker, but we're gonna try, and hopefully I don't make this entire thing like super crooked. Ooh, maybe I could do that. Put the tape on the wall first and then just put the numbers onto that. We'll try that. Maybe that'll be a little quicker. Nope, I already hate this. Oh, okay, yeah. After our little taping experiments, I decided that pre-taping a bunch of them and sticking them to my arm was the quickest way. And by the time I was actually done with this little project, it was getting kind of dark, so I decided to call it quits for the day. Good morning, guys. It's a couple days after the last clip that you saw. I didn't feel very good yesterday, so we're continuing on today. I did finish our little 75 hard tracker, and honestly, having this is making me so much more excited to start than I ever even thought it was going to. So it took me 10,000 years to finish, but time well spent, I think. That being said, today we're gonna be tackling our bookshelves finally. I've had piles and piles of books everywhere in my room, like blocking my dresser and things like that for the past like week or so, and I'm getting very sick of it. So we need to get these together. Also, this just looks crappy, you know? I'm not gonna lie, I am a little overwhelmed with just like where to start. But that being said, there were a couple of like shelves just in general that I think no matter what season it is, they're gonna stay the same. So I could have left those books on the shelf, but I did want to kind of like clean them off as well. Like I wanted to take this like seasonal opportunity to like dust off the shelves and things like that as well, and kind of give my books just like a quick little check. I see TikToks every once in a while of people being like, oh, I had to throw away my entire book collection because they got mold. I saw one the other day where someone got book mites or something like that. Didn't know that was a thing. So I figured this would be a good opportunity to kind of like assess the situation, you know? That being said, I did obviously take all the books off. They seem fine, but I do want to kind of like spray them down, wash them off because they do get very dusty. So I'm gonna do that. Also, I need to water that plant. That looks so sad. That's been looking wilty for the past like 2-3 days. I really need to water that guy. This is why all my plants die. Shelves have been cleaned, and then also, like I said, there were a couple of shelves that I already kind of know I want to keep the same. So I did take some pictures on my phone of my bookshelves before I took everything off, just so I could kind of like recreate certain sections. And the first section that I want to do is kind of like my gold and black section. Literally, since the very first set of shelves that I had on this wall, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know I had some shelves on that wall, and then they moved to this wall, then I took them down, and then I re-put them up. This wall has been through it, but also, like I said, since the very first set of shelves that I put on this wall, I have had this gold and black section the entire time. I just love the way it looks, so we're gonna re-put that up. in this little stack of books has a good chunk of that section, which is basically the Plated Prisoner series. This series actually is a series that I've read half of, so I do need to finish it. But I think we're gonna put our gold and black set of books here. That's where it was before, and I liked the way it looked. Another key book to this little section is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I usually have this one facing out, and then I will be putting the 13th Child next to it because it does have literally the prettiest gold foiled edges I've seen on any book. I was kind of thinking about putting this one out for the season, but again, the edges are what really sold me on this book. They're just so pretty. So we're gonna put those next to this one. So it's gonna be like this, like already, that looks so freaking good. And then I also have a couple of books that have golds on the spine that I usually put. Okay. I literally cannot get over how pretty these are. And then we have Onyx Storm, that's next. And then I should have the second book in this series as well over here, but I don't know where it is. I have The Familiar, and I'm thinking about actually like putting this one facing out somewhere, not on that shelf. I really messed myself up because the second time we put these up, I made the space in between these two shelves too short, so a lot of my hardcovers don't fit, which is really annoying. This one is The Zodiac Academy, and then we have this Katie Roberts book, which I feel like gives like a romantic kind of fall vibe. So I kind of want to like maybe face this one out. Maybe like that. Does that look okay? I don't know. I thought these looked good together. Like the two spines look good together, but I don't know if the spine and the picture look good together. Also, I was kind of wanting to display in some sort of way these three books. These are some special editions of Kingdom of Stars and Shadows by Holly Renee. I absolutely loved this series, and one of you besties actually got this set for me, so thank you so much. I've already thanked you. She got these for me a long time ago, and I don't know if I've ever shown them in a video or not, but these are so stinking pretty. So I definitely want these to go on these shelves somewhere. Ooh, I kind of like the way those look that way because then you can kind of see the smoke billowing up a little bit. We also have this series that I absolutely love. Maybe this could go at the top. This is like a black and red and white. And black and red is another color theme that I really, really like, regardless of what time of year it is, but it does happen to very specifically fit the fall season. I think actually this shelf goes from like gold and black to black and red, like a gradient. So I'm definitely gonna have that stay the same, but then I think I'm gonna have another like black and red section somewhere because I have also gotten more black and red books. This one being one of them. This is Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair. I love the way this looks. Like this is very spooky season, but also the actual hardcover of this one is freaking insane. So we might have this on display instead of the actual like dust jacket because that is so pretty. Like look at those two together. Love that. I found Iron Flame. It was sandwiched in between these two books. I forgot that I moved this book around. So I forgot that I had put them in between here, but we have The Poppy War, and then we have Iron Flame, and then we have The Night Ends with Fire. They all kind of have like an orangey, black, red, yellow kind of vibe. So these three were together, and I think I'm gonna keep them together. And The Familiar was actually what was technically there. But again, I kind of wanna put this one out. So maybe I'll do, ooh, actually, we'll do that. This is another book that I would really like to have facing out just because it very much gives me fall vibes as well. And I did get this, honestly, with no actual intent on reading it. I just got it because I thought this looked really cool. Next up, I had a couple of other hardcovers that I didn't have the actual case or the dust jacket on. So we'll go ahead and do those next maybe. Ooh, this might actually have to be different. Technically after this book, or like The Familiar, in my pictures I had these kind of like down with a candle on top of them, but I feel like that, actually that doesn't look bad. I thought it was gonna look weird, but it doesn't, so maybe I'll just keep it that way. I'm gonna play around with this some more, stop talking to you guys so much because I feel like if I talk through every little step that I do, this is gonna be forever long. But also I wanna be able to turn my fan on that's in my window, and I can't do that if I'm talking to you guys because it's way too loud. The high today is like 57 or 59, I think. Finally some fall weather. I have this dust jacket. I mean, I have the book too, obviously, but Kevin is reading it right now. But this is like perfect for spooky season. And I found the perfect book to like sit next to it. And I love when this kind of thing happens. So this is The Devils. And then we also have The Night Ends with Fire. Like, how cool is that title with the concept of a devil? You know what I mean? So we're gonna put these two next to each other. And actually I put you closer to this little section because I want to show you kind of the gradient of colors that I kind of like look for when I'm decorating my shelves if you're wanting to do something similar. So again, we have The Devils. This is a cover that I want to display. And then we have another book that matches the color but also has like a fun, you know, title like I just said. But then also to like continue the line, we have these two books which have very similar colors in them as well. And honestly, I think I might want to do that one first because the red in that kind of matches the red in this, and then the colors in this one, actually I don't think I can put that here because of this stupid thing. I think I might need to add another book here to kind of like slide these over, but the concept is the same. So again, we have Devils, red and title, plus this kind of goes into the red, and then the yellows and oranges go into the yellows and oranges on this little spine. I don't know if you can really see it, but the gradient of colors obviously wraps around. And I actually just found this book that has a quote on the side that says "No souls can enter without an invitation." Also sounds very devilish, and it fits perfectly in the space that we needed to fill. Amazing. Here's kind of what we're working with right now. I like this little section up here. I love this section, and I am so far liking kind of like these two shelves, but there's a lot more space we need to fill up. One thing I did forget about while I was doing this is I do actually have some fall decor that I purchased for when I did the room makeover, so I need to grab that stuff. I mean, it's not like a ton of stuff, but I have this little like glass pumpkin, and then I have a little glass vase, which I've had for all of like 3 weeks maybe, and they already need to be dusted. Also, this pumpkin does light up, and I need to get batteries for it because I think that'll be really cute to have like a little light fixture on the shelves. I really want to get fairy lights for every shelf to like run across the entire thing, but I think I'm gonna wait until like closer to Christmas for that. But as far as like where to put these two things, I actually think this would maybe go better over here. I was like trying to find books to like fill in this entire gap, and I'm like, I have a vase. Like, just stick some decor in there. Like, that looks cute, right? I feel like the brown kind of matches like the moon in that cover. Also, I just did an unboxing, like a short form unboxing of some books and stuff that I got, and the author just sent me this one. Is this not such a cool cover? I kind of want to display this one as well, just because it's like super, super pretty. But I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, this is the point that I always kind of like start running out of steam. Like, I get the main kind of like chunks together that I really like, and I have like so much space to fill, literally this entire row. This is my problem with doing this seasonally. Like, in my head it seems like a fun idea, and then when I actually go to do it, I'm just like, this is so tedious. Oh, also, I have this. It's like a little glass candlestick holder, and I have these two little white candles in it. And I was originally gonna put this at the top because it's literally the only place it'll go. But does that look weird? I'm gonna go ahead and eat some lunch because it's a little after 1. Edit the short form video that I did earlier. And then I'll get back to this, but I might not show you until it's done because I'm getting a little frazzled. The shelves are done. It is much later. I'm actually kind of proud of myself because this typically takes like days for me to do because I just cannot make a decision to save my life. But I really wanted to just like get it done, you know what I mean? So we did. And there are a couple of areas that I definitely am like, to me, I can tell I just kind of like slap them together. But for the most part, I'm pretty pleased with the way it looks. And with that, that is the end of this video. I'm very quickly losing light. It's literally only like 3 o'clock. I was about to look at my wrist as if I have a watch there. I don't. But it's only like 3 o'clock, but like the sun keeps getting hidden by clouds and stuff. It's about to come back out in a second. The struggles of filming with natural light. I don't know how I feel about this video, to be honest. In theory, it seemed like a good idea, and now that I have it done, I feel like I didn't really like do anything, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys have had a good start to your fall. I just started my first fall read. Actually, I just finished my first fall read the other day, and I started my second, which is very exciting. Let me know how far along you guys are in your fall reading. And with that, that is everything for today's video. I hope you guys have had the most amazing of days, and I will hopefully see you in my next one. Bye!